Beyond Dreaming by Hart. Part 3. Accordingly, astral projection is the only subject I've felt is discernible enough for me to write a book on. Just as I've felt since I was a child, I've found little personal purpose in pursuing subjects that I don't have practical application in my personal life. Some may notice I put little stress on backing up my claims or accounts of my own out-of-body experiences. The purpose of this book is not to convince you that out-of-body experiences are real, but to guide those who are ready and open to the possibility of the experience. With that said, I do my best to point you to the truth of what I'm conveying, not based on scientific data or fanciful ancient texts, but through logical reasoning based on my own direct experience since I was 18 years old, which is when I started this path and began having these experiences. I am not one of those much heard about astral projectors who started doing it naturally since they were children. In fact, when I started out, I was far from living a spiritual life, depressed, and did not know about anything spiritual. It was only amidst a lost stage of my life that I started to seek the spiritual dimension. One thing led to another, and I began to diligently approach and investigate astral projection, and learned how to do it gradually, just as anyone can do. Ultimately, I or anyone else cannot convince you of this incredible ability to journey into other dimensions, and only you can open that door within yourself. This book is mainly for those seeking the authentic experience of coming out of body, also known as astral projection, which is also essentially the same experience as near-death experiences. At the same time, this book will still be helpful for experienced practitioners. As any well-versed practitioner knows, it is always beneficial to maintain your interest and inspiration in this topic. Every author often has their own distinctive kind of eloquence and insight into these matters, for we are all immeasurably unique sparks of essence deriving from the same source, benefiting each other in different ways. When one begins to awaken their consciousness, their light shines 100 times more than it had before, like a flower blooming for others to marvel at its artistry. For every true spiritual master who has lived on this planet, you will find boundless wisdom, all as unique and insightful as the other. But in their core, their essence, you can always sense that one same source from which they all speak from. This source is already in your life. It is what gives you the drive to chase your desires, to get up and work every day, to marry the one you love. But this boundless energy we receive, we often have little control over, and unconsciousness can enter our lives, often leading to decisions we don't necessarily want to make, including in our dreams at night. Consequently, the average person does not remember their dreams because they are not making the decisions. The subconscious or unconscious is. This source, this deeper core of ourselves, is what we need to illuminate so that we can understand it more profoundly. In this way, we help ourselves realize the barriers that stand in our way of living consciously, in our waking lives and in our sleeping lives. Some readers will desire no hint of backing up any of the claims I make in this book, for they have already glimpsed the palpability and immensity of other dimensions themselves. Others may have a more challenging time understanding. To those I say, if you have the desire to stick with it, from some unknown urge within you, then I encourage you to be patient and let the ideas and feelings flow through you and follow them naturally. There is no need to overthink any of the topics explored in this book or to take them too seriously, nor to think fearfully about them either. If you have picked up this book, then it's likely that a shift has already begun within you, and on an intellectual level, you may have no idea what is going on. This is fine. You'll eventually begin to be comfortable with not knowing, and only then will the answers and experiences begin to flow. The realization of one's own ignorance is the beginning of authentic self-knowledge. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. Socrates. Additionally, you will find some beneficial practices throughout this book that will help you align more clearly to your inner awakening and get better direct knowledge of yourself and what is happening. As you read the book, you may experience more vivid dreams, come to more profound realizations in your waking life, and perhaps make some spontaneous decisions you wish you always had or thought you never would. Whatever happens, trust the process. This is the grace of living in a harmonious relationship with your inner and outer experience and in a higher level of consciousness.